Hey there, Gemini. Welcome back. Alright, guys, let's get into this. See what is going on in your energy. Don't forget to click that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Spirit, give us a clear, concise message here for Gemini. Alright, Gemini. First card out, we have is the Tower in reverse is coming out. We have the Emperor in reverse. Ace of Coins in reverse. Wow. Queen of Coins in reverse. Two of Swords. King of Cups. Let's see what else comes out. Ooh. So it does look like you have somebody that has been stopping you, blocking you. This is somebody who wants to take control, causing problems for you. Somebody who thinks that they're the boss, or they feel like they should be listened to and you should just like bend backwards. Everybody should just bend backwards for this person because they're so special. You know, it's some kind of ridiculousness like that. Okay, definitely. Could be an ex of yours for one of you. Okay, remember to take what resonates with you, leave the rest for somebody else. Because this person you got in your life is a nut. So for one of you, this is actually your ex. Okay, it's one of those days, I guess. But doesn't have to be. Okay. So for whatever reason, this person just thinks that they should be able to come in and take over everything. Okay, that's their energy, right? They just feel like they should just come in, take over everything, and everybody should just bend backwards to them, do what they want, do what they say, not as they do, right? That kind of thing. It does look like this person was trying to exhaust you. Yeah, exhaust you, prevent you from being able to move forward. There is a hesitancy here, or they were trying to make you hesitate doing something, and it could be because they were trying to get you to hesitate on like being guarded. Okay, because that's what I'm getting. Like they didn't want you to be guarded, or they didn't want you to guard something. Yeah. There was something here about you, Gemini, wanting to do something. You wanted to go for something that you really wanted to do, right? And this person was like, no, 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 don't do that. And I see this person as being like really stubborn, right? And be like, no, you don't want to do that. What do you need to do that for? I'm hearing like they were bullying you with the emotional manipulation. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Emotional manipulation, bullying you, but in such a way that you wouldn't realize that you were being bullied, right? So it's not like in your face kind of bullying, not like calling you names or pointing a finger at you kind of bullying. No, but it was bullying. It was emotional, manipulative type of bullying to the point where you didn't even realize you were being bullied, you know? Maybe not at the time. Maybe now, yeah. Now after the fact, you look back and now you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened to me. Right. Because these kind of people are so smooth, they're so manipulative. In the moment, you don't see it, you don't see it until much, much later down the road. And then you look back and you're like, oh, now I see it. But when you're in the middle of it, you don't see it. Right. So you wanted to make some kind of changes. You needed to make some kind of changes. You wanted to go for what you wanted to do. You wanted to make a change. And that is something that this person could not accept. For one of you, I will even go as far as saying that this person is like stuck with some kind of outdated ideas. So if you're a female, they'd be like, what? Why do you want to be, just name whatever it is, right? Like, why do you want to be a police officer? That's for men, or, what I mean? Something like that. And they might not have said it like to your face, like, hey, you don't want to do this because it's not, a job for somebody of your gender, that kind of thing. So if you're a male, same thing, could have said something like, why do you want to do nails? That's for women. Or why do you want to be a secretary? That's for women, right? So just reverse it, okay, if you're a male. But I do see this person as having some kind of outdated ideas, right? And then pushing those ideas onto you and really pushing you back, okay? Not just pushing you back, but delaying what is meant for you. Okay? And that's the biggest thing here is delaying the things that were meant for you, things that you were supposed to do at that time, at that age, so, you see what I'm saying? So, can you imagine if you didn't have that person in your life messing you up, where you would be at today? I guarantee you wouldn't be where you are, right? You would have been somewhere else, right? I mean, that's what it is. You would be somewhere else right now if it wasn't for this person who came into your life and messed everything up for you. First of all, I'll tell you flat out, you'd be making more money. Okay? You'd be making so much more money. Anyways, I'm hearing for one of you, you refuse to have sex with this person. Okay? And I'm not saying that you never had sex with this person. I'm saying that, it got to the point where this person's manipulation, the way that they were acting, the way that they were trying to boss you around, trying to get other people, possibly, right? To like listen to them. They wanted to be the boss, right? Well, it does look like eventually you got to the point where, you were like, you know what? I don't want to be intimate with you. I don't want to have any kind of sexual things with you right now. I'm just, I'm hearing like you pretty much just let this person know that you've had enough. You were tired. You were exhausted. It was too much, right? Well, because you did that, I see this person is getting upset. They got really upset. They got upset because you weren't giving to give them what they wanted. They might have even had a tantrum. Okay, this is somebody who makes excuses for everything. They made excuses for themselves, and they possibly have made excuses for other people. Their behavior. And possibly family members, something like that. Okay. Hmm. So I'm hearing like this person did not want to. They did not want you to set any kind of roots down. Yeah, they didn't want you to set any roots down. Like they didn't want you to set any roots down. There's something about that. Like they didn't want you to be stable. That's what it is. Because if you're stable, then they can't manipulate you. And that's true. The more stable a person is in their life, whether it be work, a job, a career, a home, whatever it is, the more stability you have in your life, the more successful you can be because you actually get further along in life, right? So I'm seeing here that this person was projecting. They were projecting I want to say a false self. They were projecting who they feel like other people would want them to be, but not really who they truly are. So when you met this person, you more likely did not realize that this person was the kind of person who would expect like obedience. I don't know, this is for one of you, like this obedience, like you should obey them kind of energy, right? Like don't question them or don't question their behavior, just do what they say. Don't do what they do, but do what they say. That kind of energy. Hmm. You did something over this person's head. You went over this person's head. That's something that they did not see coming from you. You were supposed to stay down. You were supposed to be afraid. You were supposed to be scared, Gemini, and you didn't do that. Instead, you pushed forward. You pushed something forward or you communicated with somebody, and this person did not see that coming. That was the one thing that you did that they just, yeah, they did not see that coming. First of all, they did not see you withholding sex from them, okay? And I know this person might have told you, oh, you are a narcissist because narcissists withhold sex. Well, that might be true, okay, about narcissists. You're not a narcissist, Gemini, okay? But that might be true. Narcissists might use sex as a weapon, but who wants to be intimate with somebody who's treating them poorly? I'm just going to say it. I mean, so I know all over the internet they're talking about, they're like, oh, narcissists, they withhold sex, and that's a power play and all this. Well, you know what? Think about it. You had good reason not to want to have sex with that person. Why would you want to have sex with somebody and get forced into it, just so you wouldn't be called a narcissist when you're not feeling good about that person? You don't feel comfortable. You didn't feel safe with that person. So why should you have sex with somebody you're not feeling safe with and you're not happy with, and their behavior is actually harming you? You know what I mean? That's why people need to be careful with what they say online, especially to young people, because a young person might hear that and be like, "Oh, I mean, I didn't see you doing it, Gemini, but I'm talking about, somebody younger, 17, 18, 19 years old." And they hear something like that and they're like, "Oh, well, I have to because then I'll be a narcissist." No, you won't. If the person's not treating you well and you don't feel safe with that person, or you feel hostility coming from that person, or that person's harming you, you don't have to have sex with them. But I can see why some young people might have that impression, you know, and have that thinking of, oh my gosh, they're gonna call me a narcissist if I don't do it. Whew. Anyways, this person, Gemini, I am hearing that this person really projected a false self, not just to you, but to everybody. Okay, I feel like this person is very insecure of who they are as a person. This is why they had to hold you back. Because if you succeeded, then you might not need them anymore. And if you succeed and you become successful and you are able to pay your own bills and you're able to take care of yourself, buy your own car, do whatever it is, then this person felt like you would just not need them anymore. And if you don't need them, then they won't have any power over you. So if you don't have to listen to them, then they feel like you would choose not to listen to them. So this person became more and more selfish, more and more insecure, and the more and more insecure they became, the more selfish they became, because their insecurity was getting the best of them. So that energy of like trying to control you, and not just you, possibly other people, but it's out of a need to be able to like be on top. This person wants money. And I feel like this is another thing that was really crazy about this person, is that they actually want money. So if you were trying to do something that was going to create money, so it's kind of weird because they actually wanted you to have money. And I'm hearing from one of you, this is somebody who was like, oh, get a job, do this, do that. But as soon as your job gave you a raise, or as soon as you were getting a promotion or something like that, I'm hearing this person couldn't take it. But they still wanted the money. But then they wanted to cause you problems and stress because you had abundance in your life. Because you were getting abundance. You were getting recognized. You were getting, something that you really worked for, really wanted. And as soon as this person realized that you were getting that, you were getting recognized, you were getting, some kind of promotion, or you were about to, they came in to stop it. Stop it fast, because they didn't want to like suffer. They didn't want to suffer. They didn't want to get up and do what had to be done. I mean, they didn't want to like work two jobs, so they could have more money. No, they didn't want to do that, or maybe even one job. Okay, for one of you, like they didn't even want to get a job, period. So it's kind of like they wanted you to have the money, bring in the money, but don't do the work. Make it make sense. Like not get the promotion, or not get the hours, or not get the raise, or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that would make you better than them. They couldn't stand it. So they had to hold you down. But see, they weren't willing to get up and do anything. That's the thing. They weren't willing to get up and do anything. As a matter of fact, I see this person as wanting to make you feel left out. Or this could have been when y'all actually went through the breakup. Okay? Because I am seeing a breakup. So this could have been like during the breakup, right? Or right before the breakup, where this person was trying to make you feel left out. And they were doing it on purpose. Like they would be talking to their friends and like totally excluding you out of the conversation, or acting like you're not there and just leave you standing there by yourself. And that's for one of you, definitely. I'm hearing one of you actually went to a celebration. Like this person was getting some kind of maybe a diploma, or they were getting something, and this person never acknowledged you being there. They totally just talk to their friends and act like you were just nobody. And that is for one of you. I'm seeing that in my third eye. Okay. But they did that on purpose. Because as long as you're standing there waiting for them, then you are right where they want you to be. I'm hearing for one of you, this person had things very one-sided. They had you carrying a large load on your shoulders. So for one of you, definitely, I'm hearing you were the person who was paying the bills. 99.9% of the bills. Like everything was on your shoulders. And the more you accepted taking responsibility for things, the more this person was putting more on your shoulders. But it's weird because it's like they wanted the money, they wanted the income, but they didn't want you to have that. Too much money. Just enough money so y'all could struggle, you know? But not enough money so y'all could live comfortably. So they didn't want you to be able to make it. And you know what it is, Gemini? It's more about you. You being the person, you being the one making the money, or you're being the one getting the promotion. But they didn't want to do anything themselves. For one of you, I'm hearing this person was at a dead end job. They knew that they were at a dead end job, but they didn't want to do anything to do anything to get better, or to receive better, or to get a better job, or nothing. No. But you wanted to, and they wanted to hold you down. Make it make sense. You might not know this, Gemini, but this person was telling people that you only get into relationships for money. That you only seek out people who have a lot of money. Now, the last time I heard, this person didn't have a whole lot of money. So what the heck are they talking about? But they're definitely trying to put themselves in that boat, as like you only seek out people who have money, and you only want relationships with people who have money, and they're trying to throw themselves in that boat, making themselves look like they have a lot of money, right? Because nobody's going to question, like, well, how much do you have in your account, you know? People are just going to be like, oh, really? Like, oh, then you must have money, right? You know, they think that, and this person is doing it on purpose. They want people to think that they have money, and you only get into relationships with people who have money. That's how they're trying to like make themselves look good. Like prep themselves up for the next partner or the next person in line. You know, something like that. They're like, I guess prepping. Prepping would be the word I would use. Prepping. They're prepping the situation. They're prepping their reputation. They're prepping whoever's around, right? That's the energy I'm getting. Something shocking happened. So this person was trying to tell people things about you, but say it in such a way like that, like, you know, you only go after people who have money, making it, you know, people think that this person has money. But I'm hearing something very shocking happened. Somebody is very aware of what this person is hiding. There's somebody that's around And this person doesn't realize it, that people are realizing that this person is up to no good. Somebody is beginning to realize that this person is full of crap. And they're trying to hide things, trying to conceal things. Yeah. Trying to conceal their own actions, their own, what they're doing. Now, your ex is actually facing, if this is an ex, it could be anybody in your life, okay? First of all. But, this person is definitely facing some setbacks because what they have done is actually has allowed people to judge and evaluate the situation between you and them. Now they're the one that is feeling depressed and left out. See, they wanted you to feel depressed and left out, but actually now it's them. They're the ones that are being left out. They're the one that is facing setbacks now. This person was overly confident that the things that they said about you would work. That they would prep their next victim, and the next victim is not coming in. So that person actually realized that this person had very bad intentions. It didn't work on them. As a matter of fact, that other person, that this person, your ex, I'm just going to say ex, guys, okay? So you just put whoever it is in your life. It doesn't have to be an ex. Oops, sorry. It doesn't have to be an ex, but whoever it is for you that did this to you, okay? Now this person is realizing that that person that they were trying to set up to be their next victim is actually seeing the truth. They don't know what to do now. They don't know what to do. So I'm hearing word on the street is that this person is full of crap. This person's very unrealistic. I'm hearing that the word on the street here is that this person is going through their own dilemma here, possibly depression, and they're having a hard time seeing any kind of positive in their life now. Because people are seeing the truth about them. People are seeing clearly. This person didn't realize that there are little tricks and games that they've learned like for so long, and how to do it for so long, and the manipulation that they've gotten away with so long. They never realized that it would come to an end. That people would see things clearly. Now this person's ego is hurt. It's hurt because they can't. It's hurt because they can't. They can't fool everybody. You know, and that one person saw right through them, and now that one person is telling everybody, "Oh, be careful with this one. This one is not as smart as they think they are." You know, and your person, whoever this person is for you, is somebody who craves attention. That's how they're coming out. They're coming out as somebody who craves attention. So now they're struggling because, oh no, they're not the center of attention. Who are they gonna boss around? Oh my gosh, they're not gonna have they're not gonna have somebody to pick on and manipulate. Oh no, it's true. You know what I mean? Now they're struggling. They're confused. They don't know where they went wrong. Well, what happened is that as this person was growing up, the tricks and games that they played when they were younger worked on the people that they were around, because the people that were around them, such as you, were young, right? You were younger. You were younger at that time. And the people that they were playing these manipulative games on were younger. Well, now this person's older and they're trying to play the same game with people who are older, and people who are older have more experience in life. You see? And those games they're not gonna work. They worked on maybe back in the day when you were 18, 19, 20 years old, but they're not gonna work on somebody who's 40, 50 years old. You know what I mean? But this person doesn't see that. They don't realize that the world is, they think something is wrong, like, they changed or something went wrong, or that's what went wrong. Is the world grew up around them. They need to go and play these games with a much younger person so they can keep manipulating a much younger person, because a much younger person is going to be easily to manipulate. But nowadays, not necessarily, because nowadays, kids have YouTube and they have all these resources, right? Resources of knowledge and understanding that people didn't have back in the day, you know? This whole thing about narcissists and all that, I mean, we didn't hear about that just 20 years ago. And a lot of us, we grew up with narcissists. Our mothers were narcissists. Our fathers were narcissists, right? But we didn't have a word for them. We didn't know that there was a category for them. We didn't know that there was a mental illness that they had. Nobody knew that there was, a word that we can reunite, unite all of those kids who had parents who were narcissists, right? The thing is, nowadays kids have resources. There's more knowledge. There's more spread of knowledge, right? This person is gonna find it harder and harder and harder as they get older to find victims. So they're confused. They're in this dark place right now. They just can't figure out how they got there. You know what I mean? Like, they just cannot figure out how they got in that dark place. Why are they depressed? They can't figure it out. Their confidence has hit a low because they cannot play this game anymore. They can't play it anymore. They're trying to look at the brighter side. They're trying to be more optimistic, but it's not working. Nothing is working. And this is where you're coming back into the picture, Gemini, because this person is about to call you. They see you as the yin to their yang now, because they can't play this game with anybody else. See, you made them feel important because when they were with you, it happened so slowly. You were young, and they were able to, oh, I'm the boss here. I'm the boss, and you gotta listen to me and all this stuff, right? You're not. They don't realize you've grown up too. But be expecting this phone call, okay? Be expecting this phone call. This person's gonna call you. They're gonna be telling you, "Oh, I have this mental clarity. I see through the light now. I see through my wrongs and all that kind of stuff." But just remember, they're coming in with this energy of the Fool in reverse. So, ill intentions. They have not changed. They're going to try to make you think that they've changed, but they have not changed. They are a what's the word? A parasite. They are a parasite who needs a host, and they cannot find a host because their old games are not working any longer. And more likely, even if they try to do it with somebody much younger, more likely that person is going to be very aware of the red flags, and it's not going to work. So this person, this parasite, is looking for a new host. They can't find a new host, so they're going to be calling you again. See, what they don't understand is you are not the same person you used to be. You're not that, you know what I mean? You're not that age that you were when you were around this person. You've gained knowledge since then. And it could be 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, but it doesn't matter how long it's been. It does not matter. You are still not the same person. And that is something that this person does not see coming. So this person is going to get angry when they realize that they can't play the games with you like they used to do. They're going to get angry. So expect this phone call coming in. There's going to be some kind of communication from this person. And the more that this person talks, I'm hearing the more of the truth that you're going to see. Things are going to hit you. Things that you didn't realize before. You didn't put the connections before. But let this person keep talking. It's like that song says, it's all coming back to me now. Well, it's all gonna come back to you, but it ain't gonna be no love song. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be the kind of song that this person is expecting. You know? Nuh-uh. No. This person's gonna tell you that y'all had something solid. That y'all had something good. That they're still in love with you. So just be ready for it. I'm hearing this person is going to really, bring it on thickly. But you're being warned here that this is going to be the beginning of problems with this person. As soon as you pick up that phone or as soon as you open that door, because they could be knocking on your door, that's going to be the beginning of problems with this person. Definitely. Because that person is not going to go anywhere. Because they're going to die if they don't have a host. So just remember that. These kind of people are parasites. They need a host. And they will say and do and give you anything and everything you want to prove a point, to prove that they've changed, to prove that they're gonna be there for you, and y'all are gonna have this beautiful relationship, and they're gonna be supportive, everything that you've ever wanted. And they might even give it to you for a little while. But remember, a parasite is still a parasite. This person has been a parasite, even though they were trying to say that you are a parasite. No, it's them. They're a parasite. This person is up for a rude awakening that they are not ready for. They're not mentally ready for it. Okay? And this person is going through some kind of situation like depression and stuff like that. So, you're being warned. This is going to be the beginning of problems with this person. Catch me in the next one, guys. I'm going to get out of this reading, okay? This is your warning. Y'all take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And hold your head up high because you're way better than this person is. You deserve better and you are a better person. And you are not a parasite like this person. You do not need a host. You can be by yourself. You are an independent person. And that's something that this person cannot handle. It's what they've always been afraid of, actually. So, anyways, guys, catch me in the next one. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Y'all take care. Bye, guys.